So
Uh,
Kulata, are you in from yesterday, or are you just here for today's session?
I'll go with the flow.
Oh,
But
oh,
I've been posting some data because I don't know when I'll be able to, how long I'll be able to stay. But I posted some data. So the guy that was forming, let me be polite. The guy that was emotional, the guy that was emotional yesterday.
yes.
So here's IGR data. Peter Obi got in office 2005. So what the IGR that he started with was seven. I mean, this is for the fiscal year 2005. I have all the financials downloaded on my phone from the budget, from one of the budget websites. So it started 2005. For anybody that can do quick maths, 7,464,735,408.96, and in 2013, when he ended with 8,701,031.064.39 kobo. So when you do that math, that's an increase of 16.56% straight up. And if you now factor, I mean, which is even less than 18%, but the 18% is based on the actual month he left and the actual month he started. But this is like when you're looking at the fiscal report, you just look at the fiscal year. So based on fiscal year from 2005 to 2013, increase of 16.56%. What is inflation? Inflation was over 10%. So what does it even mean? It means it's a wash. It didn't grow much. Now, when you look at Obiano, you start Obiano from 2013, which I said was 8,701, 8,701,031,064.39 kobo. In 2020, Obiano raised that 8 billion to 30,696,730,278.6 cents. 6 kobo. The percentage increase for Obiano is 253%. This is a period of 7 years because this is 2020, not 2021. So from 2013 that Obiano took over to 2020, he raised the IGR about 253%. So from an IGR perspective, Obi was a wash because that's 16.56%. If you put inflation that is greater than 10%, inflation has already eaten up whatever it gained. Now, in the areas where everybody gloats about, debt, the debt he met 14 billion 141 million 570,893. He paid it down by 59%. So by the time he was leaving office, he left with a debt of 5,734,855,461.26. So that was a decrease in debt of 59%. I know the common storyline was he paid all the debt. No, he did not pay all the debt. He reduced the debt by close to 60%, but he didn't pay all the debt. And then if you look at the cash outlays, there were still debt financing coming in and debt payment going out. And also, so that's the wait. Let me land. Let me land. I have the floor. Excuse me.
Sorry, I don't. No, I don't think anybody's talking. Who's that? I think the sound is coming from your background.
Me?
Yeah, because
Oh,
everybody. Oh no, I think that's Ajane Koko. Yeah, let me go carry on. Yeah, carry
so
on. Yeah.
the area where everybody calls him a legend, he performed. He reduced the debt, but he did not eliminate the debt because the folks the folks' story is he wiped out Anambra's debt. He did not wipe out Anambra's debt. Actually, there was one year, I think 2008, that he paid the debt. But when I went to check, it looks like that was the time one of the Abacha repatriations came that everybody kind of used. I think he used his own to pay more the debt because he dropped that debt from 14 billion to like 3. Then he started borrowing again. And also, if I pull out the dividends from his investments, let me quickly pull that out. The last dividend he got, I remember that number from head. I think that was 30 million, and the previous years was 70 million. So even the
Sorry.
invest
What were these investments? Do you have details of some of them?
no,
Okay.
It's just it's high level financials. I can't tell where the particular place you got it from.
All
but
right.
like you can just see the returns. I mean, you can just see the dividends on those investments. And when I looked at the dividends, I thought they were going to be magnificent, but there are 30 million here, 70 million there. Let me pull 2013. Give me 1 second.
Are you able to quote your sources as well? Because of course, people will watch this back and
I put the link of this. I put the link there. But the problem with that link is, like saying that kerosene, then they take on that website. Because yesterday night I was downloading it. I woke up this morning to come and download more years. It's been timing out since. But it's one site that collates all the state budgets of all the Nigerian states together. So it's in the chat. So whenever that site wakes up again, everybody can go pull it up.
All right. I'll need you to post it. I want to highlight it on the screen for people who do watch back, because you know that you're putting yourself on the line somewhere. People will come back at you.
I'm putting myself on the line.
I want you to be as watertight as you can, so that you can.
The financials are there. As long as that website wakes up again, you can download it. Okay, I was looking for.
You were talking about the dividends that.
The dividends.
Yes.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Right. So because and by the way, for people listening, this is not essentially an anti-Peter Obi thing. It was the invitation that was put up by the Honorable ex-governor himself, His Excellency Peter Obi. He invited that people should, because he's made a series of assertions, and he's invited that people should go and verify. And that was the invitation put out by Peter Obi, and that is exactly what is being done now. So whilst you are doing that, Kulata, I wonder if you were around when I played the clip of Peter Obi and it's 20 million to 100 million thing. But what
I have question for Kulata.
Yes, whilst you're doing that search, watch this, Kulata. This adds to your narrative. Can you see a screen, Kulata?
Yeah, I can see the screen. I'm on 2 phones, but let me see. Yeah, I'm watching. Okay.
Okay, let me just play this for you. You remember that storyline when Peter Obi, it was alleged that he said he'd invested $20 million in SB Miller breweries, and that's 100. And then when it was debunked, then the storyline was that it was a Facebook fan that made that assertion, and it wasn't.
That's a lie. He lied.
All right, so it was actually Peter Obi that made that assertion, and we've caught him on camera when he did that. So watch this, Kulata.
Brewery, the biggest brewery in Africa. Anambra State is the single highest shareholder in that facility. I invested in it over $20-something million. It's worth almost 100 today. That's what government should do.
Very good.
So there it is. So have you found out the data now?
Yeah, I think. Give me 1 second. I downloaded so many things. Okay, I got it. So, okay, let's even look at.
So you're talking about the dividends of the investment of the state funds for growth.
There's dividends. I looked at many things. I looked at, was he cutting cost in terms of personnel cost? Personnel cost actually increased under him. So whether they were increasing salaries or they were adding more people, they definitely cost increase. Then also I checked the debt profile, both internal and foreign debt. And 14, he started with 14. The next year he paid like 1 billion. In 2007, that was when he paid a significant chunk. He paid by 10 billion. He dropped it to 3 million. Then he kept going from 3 billion to 3.49. Then I have to switch because I need 2 files. The 2008 files shows backward numbers back to 2005. The 2013 file shows backward numbers back to 2019. So I have to flip between the files. And in Nigeria, they scanned those images. Why can't we do things properly? They scan those images like someone used their phone.
Yes, I have one of them on my screen. So it's just they just
like someone used their phone,
like photograph or something. Yes.
So I can't even search my phone for like dividends. So I'm struggling kind of, because I know I promised everybody I'm struggling kind of to find the area where I found dividend. I can't search the PDF, but I will land on it. But Ajanli could go ask your question while I'm searching, so we don't stop the flow.
Ajalekoko, are you there? So we did say we're going to debunk.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Okay, the IGR that you mentioned between 2005 or let me see again. Is it 2005 that it came in?
2005 to 2013.
2005 and 2013. So the gap in between 2005 2013. Are you telling us that the IGR are not more than that 8 billion in those years between 2005 and 2013?
Let me answer your question with the facts. 2005, 7.4 billion. 2006, 4.6 billion. 2007, 6 billion. 2008, 6 billion. 2009, 4.8 billion. 2010, 5.7 billion. 2011, 6.8 billion. 2012, 7.6 billion. And 2013 is last year. I mean, it spent four more months, but 2013, 8.7 billion. Then he spent like 4 more months in 2014 or so before handing over to Obi'S. So the full fiscal year that he left, there was no time. You see, like from that 2005 that Ngige left, 7.4, it did not get to that 7.4 for 7 years till 2012 before it got 7.6. So he actually dropped the IGR before he was able to get it back to Ngige levels in 2012, and then 8.7 in 2013. And then if you now say, okay, what about inflation? Inflation is always greater than 10%. The net increase from 2005 to 2013, if you calculate those in just real numbers, is 16 point something percent. I put it in the chat. So take out the inflation from that. Isn't that a wash?
Well, yeah, I think you have done a good job to get us this information.
The whole thing is a scam, but please, more data. Yeah, if you have more, let's have it.
Okay, now another area that kind of surprised me, 2013, which is, I mean, the full fiscal year before the 4 months is still spent. Cash balances. There was, either you have a net cash surplus or a net cash deficit before your opening balance. So the net cash we had was a net cash deficit of 26, is this million or billion? 26 billion deficit. That was the fiscal year 2013. But then there's opening balance of 74. Everybody has an opening balance. There was an opening balance of 74 billion. So the net closing cash balance was 46 billion 508 million 801 229. But the cash balance itself that you're bringing forward, your carry forward, it was a deficit. It was a 26 billion deficit, and you can see that in 2013. The previous years it was surplus, like 26 million surplus. Before that was 36.
The debt. How much was the debt in 2005 compared to the debt when it left?
It did well.
What was the percentage of reduction of the that state debt between the time he took office and the time he left?
Yeah, both public and private debt in 2005 was 14 billion. When he left it with 5.7 billion. So he paid it down by 59%.
So,
but he did not leave it debt free,
he did not leave it debt free. He did not leave it debt free.
But to reduce the debt, that to me is
an achievement.
It's an achievement. It's an achievement. It's a big achievement, and it shows that he has managed the resources well to some extent. Because the lesser debt you have, the wealthier, the more wealthier you have. I mean, you are.
But it did not show in terms of
You know.
like productivity though. Like one number that I wish I could find, but we don't get reliable numbers, was what was the
But do you know that
unemployment?
government service is not a profitable services? It's a
Let me,
service. It's
I
a
know, but
service.
you
Yes.
see the,
So
the number that will be good for all of us
we have
that
to
makes
look at
millions.
Hold on,
other sectors. Its
all right.
performance at other sectors.
I'm
With those
looking for
little
one number.
IGR in
I'm looking
education,
for one number.
in
Hold on,
infrastructure.
please. Let's
Okay.
pull out a document because
Let
it's
me
trying to
finish.
document data. So let's document
I'm
the
looking.
data.
I'm looking for one number. The number that should be meaningful for everyone is unemployment. I mean, I had so many client meetings today, I couldn't get to it, but I'll look for that, because unemployment will mean if I can reduce unemployment, that is more impactful. But most people will say, no, Anambra, we can't use unemployment because they're like traders, they're commodity. I mean, they deal in commodities, deal with stuff. But we need neutral numbers that we can. I mean, if I can't get unemployment, if everybody says Anambra is full of traders, they're full of this, then you should be able to make money out of those traders, right? You should be able to generate income. That is why I was laser focused on, okay, what's the IGR? Because if you pay down the debt, but paying down the debt does not create jobs, it doesn't create enterprise, it doesn't create this. So what did you pay down? I mean, you pay down
Did
the
you
debt,
say,
then so
sorry,
what?
Kolata, did you say you are not able to get the
I didn't
unemployment
get
figures?
time. I didn't get around the unemployment numbers.
All right, because that'll be a crucial thing to note.
Okay, I found the dividend now. So this is from the statement of cash flow. So the statement of cash flow, they have two lines. Dividend, the dividend they earned in 2013 is 30 million naira, 568, 857 and 4 kobo. The dividend they earned in 2012 is 77 million naira, 952, 00294. So I only got 2013 and 2012 dividend data from that site. Let me see if I can get dividend. Well, assuming he invested when he got there, it's useless trying to get dividend data in 2005 because we can assume he just got there. So any dividends will be dividends coming from the past. So at least you can see that, okay, towards the end of his years, they were earning average of 30 million to 77. What's that? 30 plus 77 divided by 2. Let's just say average of 50 million naira a year, which isn't magnificent. Is not the way they project it, because what will 50 million naira do for Anambra in the grand scheme of things? So I hate the fact that everybody thinks, oh, one doesn't like Obi or one doesn't like. I'm neutral to Obi, but once you come and start exaggerating his record, you make people that are data curious. You make them curious to want to engage.
Were you able to do a comparison with a parallel type, not with Lagos State, but with a parallel sort of state, on an equal measure state? Were you able to do that, or you didn't have the time?
No, I didn't get to that point, but I did a quick. The only thing I did was just compare like how much did Obi'S grow the IGR, and Obi'S grew the IGR in 7 years by 253%. And I kind of now remembered reading some newspaper articles then that there were many people going to Anambra, going to go and talk to Obi'S, like how did he do it? So I also did some digging. I saw a newspaper article in Sun Online that was talking about Obi giving one of his relatives something to one market. But you know, those kind of, you don't know if that is beer parlogist or is legit. So I didn't take it with a grain of salt.
Do you have a link to that? Because I can follow that up and dig it out. Because
yeah, let me look for that. Let me look for that one.
And I'm going to post a link in the comment section. This is for my Instagram. If you have any clips, you know, that somewhat debunks this rather fairy tale that we're hearing about the Peter Obi, please send it to me via Instagram, because I'm going to put together a series of videos to put an end to this noise making once and for all.
Obi and Nigeria's cash. I mean, I let me look for it. It was something on Sun Online, so let me look for it. But when I read it, I'm like, well, this can be someone's opinion, so I can't really rely on it. Like it may be bear apologist. So I didn't take it that serious. So in areas like he paid down the debt 59%. Yeah, that is something, but what did you use it for? That's all I care about. You just don't pay down the debt just for paying down the debt sake. Like, yes, if
Did
what
you
I
get any
suspect.
data? Did you get any data on infrastructural performance?
I didn't even go all to that level
All
because
right.
I mean
Okay,
I
you were
can
just looking
continue.
at
I
the
can
numbers.
continue my search. Like I was bogged down with a lot of client work today, so go see time. But I can continue. I just said let me even just touch all these basics. First of all, number one myth: he paid down the debt. No, he reduced the debt. There was still debt in Anambra, and he left with a cash deficit. If you look at his full fiscal year, I just talked about that cash deficit. He left with a cash deficit. I don't know if
So
he
there
made
was
up that.
pension being owed. Nothing.
You can't get that in a financial statement now. Is
Yes.
what I'm looking at financial statement.
I
You
am
can't get
telling
that
you,
in a
when he came
financial
into
statement.
Anambra was owing in arrears about that 8 billion in
No,
pensions, and he
Well,
paid
let
it.
me see.
He
Let
paid
me
it
see
off.
what I can get that in debt. Hold on. Let me check. Let me check if I can extrapolate it.
Kulata, I hope you are not looking at government services in the perspective of how private business is run, because it's telling me that from your own point of view, you are more, you know,
a financial sector privateer.
a financial, yeah, private
I know be private.
business.
Yeah, I beg.
It's different. It's different from, you see, the way government services is carried out and government account is run is different from that of private. They are two separate, there are two separate mission or goal set.
Egbon, I'm
I
familiar
mean,
with public sector.
private
I'm,
business is set to make profit,
to make
while government
profit, I know.
government is a service. They are not to make profit. You
Okay,
know that?
government is. I know that, but what I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you is I'm familiar with public sector to an extent. I'm very familiar with public sector.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is, what are the meaningful changes? Because infrastructurally, I've not really heard much because there was another debunking I see. You know, all this stuff I saw, there was something about.
Hold on, Kulata. If you could, can you itemize what you feel you have been able to debunk from the data that you've gleaned?
Okay,
So
from
this
what I've
this
been
is the
able to
popular. This
debunk.
is the sorry. So if you do it in this sequence, this is the popularly held narrative put out there, but these are the facts that you have found. So if you can do it in that sort of way, if you can.
Number one, no increase in revenue, internally generated revenue. The state actually relied more on federal allocation when Obi was there because federal allocation grew a lot between 2005 to 2013 that he left. So IGR wasn't even growing. So Anambra could not rely on any IGR at the time Obi was left. They were more reliant on federal allocation. So to me, it did not make the state that fiscally sustainable from generating its own income. That's number one. Number two is a myth that they said he paid all the debt. He reduced the debt by 60% up to the last full fiscal year he was in office. He reduced it by 59%. He did not pay it off. That's a myth.
He paid it
Uh,
off.
the,
He paid it
the
off.
third the third myth is his investments was generating some kind of like massive amount of money. The 2 years that I've looked at now for dividend, one was 30 million naira, one was 77 million naira. They weren't like magnificent. So of course everybody already debunked that with the lie of, I mean, he exaggerated that lie from 20 million to 100 million. Imagine if you have $100 million, what kind of dividends will $100 million get you? It won't be the misery 30 million naira and 77 million naira. No, it will be way more than that. So those are the three main points. Now, the final point was, is a saver, is a this, is a that. So I expected him to kind of like cut personnel cost. Personnel cost grew throughout, year after year after year after year. Well, we can say maybe that is inflation, or I don't know. Maybe they hired more people. But if they had more people, were they providing more services? Were people in Anambra getting more services?
Sorry, it cannot be inflation because the wages of the civil servants they are already set. So it would have to be increase in personnel, wouldn't you say?
Maybe that one I can't tell if they hired more people. And if they had more people, maybe they were cleaning more gutters. Maybe they were, I don't know, whatever government does. Maybe they were doing that. I can't tell. But personnel.
Or maybe it was Pandora Papers. Maybe that is where is that Pandora paper? Are we opening up Pandora Papers with that?
I don't even want to go into his personal. I don't want to even go to touch his personal scandals. But can we get one thing straight? Obi, first of all, is not Jesus. He's not the second coming of Jesus. And he's not a financial genius. He's prudent. Yes, that's why he could pay the debt to 59%. But he's not resourceful because I don't see any evidence that he's resourceful. Because if you're prudent, you can be miserly. Miserly and not be resourceful. And you can be wasteful, but you make way more than you waste. So I don't see him as that economic genius coming to fix it. And this is not coming from, I just can't stand the fact that when you criticize someone or you go and check his record, they now say, oh, you're about this, you don't like this, you don't like that. Don't stop giving us that bullshit. It's not fair. Because rational people want to go and verify and check. Some of us are just we're not carried away by rhetoric. So let's reset Obi down to earth level, ground level. Let's analyze him realistically. Yes, is it different from Tinubu and Atiku? Yes, he's less corrupt, but it's still corrupt, but less corrupt. Is the least of the three evils. But is he going to perform better from an economic perspective to first-time Obasanjo, where Atiku ran the show? I don't see that evidence because Atiku showed me he could find talent and recruit great talent. He recruited Okonjo. If what we hear is true, someone needs to correct me because I may be wrong. He recruited Okonjo. He recruited that, what's his name? That agriculture, the guy that's now Akinwumi Adesina. Maybe he also recruited Soludo, yeah. Maybe so. If Atiku is responsible for that, it shows Atiku has an eye for talent. Yes. Tinubu is obvious. Tinubu has an eye for talent. I mean, we all know that. Except anybody wants to be.
Is there anybody that you can recall that has emerged out of the?
That's exactly the point I'm going to go. Who has Obi groomed? Can someone lecture us or someone educate us? Who has Obi groomed? Because no man is an island. So we need to know his team. Which team is he bringing to the table? Can someone, as an Obi supporter, answer that question? I'm curious.
So there it is right there, the $1 million question. So there it is.
This is my problem. This is my problem, right? If you want to talk about Obi and the team he used in making Eastern work, he did an excellent job. We had young folks in government as commissioners.
Where are they
so
now?
This is where are they?
Where are they now?
They look.
We know where Akinwumi Adesina is. We know where Soludo is.
The thing there is that he does not believe, like I said, he does not play politics the way the Jagaban.
He's not developed anybody.
Guy, come back on Mars now. Land on Earth.
Hold on, Joel. Who has it developed?
I said, who has it developed? He has developed a lot of people.
Yeah, and give us names now. What do you mean a lot of people?
See. Obi is not there to put in or buy you any position in government.
No, that's Obi is not there to do that.
Obi has developed a lot of people, a lot of students that were in school there. There are many of them out there today.
Okay, let me tell you who Atiku has developed. He's developed Madam Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to make her the head of the global financial space. How did he develop her? Because he spotted them from obscurity and brought them to global prominence.
I mean, he just got someone to work for them.
Your own home governor, Charles Soludo. This was the people that are. Well, Atiku has brought to prominence from obscurity through talent.
For crying out loud, that was in government. He was in government.
Who has Obi developed?
Look, if you say like he developed them, look, hold on. When you say like he developed them, it looks like maybe he paid for their school fees and developed them to where they are.
The people understand this from their intelligence.
Okonjo Iweala was employed
In
based on
obscurity.
her,
In
see,
obscurity.
whether obscurity or not, but her performance in wherever she was stood out. And OPJ and Atiku brought him in. They brought in Soludo too, right? And brought in Ezekwesili. There's no problem with that.
Give us names.
Those are
developed Fashola, Aregbesola. He developed Yemi Osinbajo. Who has Peter Obi
good
developed?
because you are talking about this. You're talking about this because they take people and put into power.
Yes,
that is not what you're looking.
That
is not development.
Nobody.
That is stripping of the people.
So there it is, right there.
That is stripping of the people.
Right there.
No. That part of thing, that thing you're talking about is stripping of the people. That is not development.
It's ripping of the people.
Is ripping of the people. If you want to develop people, you develop society. Don't develop a few.
How do you develop? So you develop them through experts that are champions in their field.
No, the kind of expert that gave him.
You know that Soludo revolutionized the Nigerian financial sector to the benefit of the mass. So that is it right there. So who has Peter Obi developed? And if you don't know, say I don't know.
No, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people Peter Obi has. I know a lot of people and
school students. Abi, give them computers. Give them computers. Abi, look at that. This is
and
it
now. That is how you develop. That is how you develop a society.
All right.
No, Aregbesola gave Osun people tablets. It was really revolutionary. Because
what
give them appointment.
What do you mean? See, let me tell you something. You do not expect to see, let me finish. You do not expect to see the results of what people are doing in office immediately when they are in office. Some you will see when they are in office. Some you will see after. But see, let me tell you something. Can I finish?
Later, we still can't see it.
8 years later, we are seeing it. We are seeing the growth. We are talking about
who has it developed?
Look, he does not need to develop the way you guys are developing. That is not development. That is empowering. That is empowering your own.
Right.
See, there's no great leader that doesn't have a team.
Look,
there's no great leader that doesn't have a team.
Look, that's not a team. Look, that's not a team. Where you can pick people and put them in government and they pay you and proceed from it. That is corruption. That is not building people.
What are you talking corruption? Don't you find talent that will work for you?
Is corrupt. Madam Ngozi is corrupt.
How is Madam Ngozi corrupt? Look, let me tell you something. It says Soludo. I don't know the person. Look, I am not going to say Soludo. You cannot ask me if Soludo is corrupt. What I would say about Soludo is that
he did not develop anybody. He did not develop the state. He did
what
not
do you mean that he did? What do you mean that he did not develop the state? Let's talk about this thing.
You see, when I say it's pedestrian, that's the data.
No. See. Let me tell you something. You see, I said it in the morning. I said it in the morning, right? I said, look, if we are going to make headway as a people, right, we have to calm down and be serious for once.
Right.
It's not a joking matter.
Data is not serious.
It is not a joking matter. Look, let me tell you.
It's not serious.
And Kulata went and brought up data from a paper, from a source that is not even acceptable. I cannot write a paper.
Look, I have the document on my phone. Let me show you. Let me turn on camera and just show you it, because I can't stand this that. That website contains all Nigerian states fiscal statements. I posted the source. Open the source.
You cannot go. No. Because there are sources.
I'm not the one responsible for the website now.
There it is, right there.
You're not responsible for the website.
Brother, can I interject?
No, don't.
You are not responsible. You're not responsible for the website, but you cannot feed us.
It's a normal website everybody knows. Just ask anybody that does it. But if the website is not down, it's not my fault.
We are educated here. At least we are educated and we have lived abroad. Let us be nice let us be reasonable with what we put out there. Can you write an academic paper with that source that you provided? You cannot.
I beg, someone tell me how I can share video, please. Can someone tell me how I can share video so we can show this?
I don't know how you
I cannot even see the website.
The website
is budgetpedia.ng. You can search Budgetpedia. It contains all Nigerian states' financial information. But that website,
Aizon has shared this, and this is the same website, by the way, that Aizon was using to do data for us.
So please, I'm not the one responsible for Budgetpedia. Whether they use kerosene to run the website, I don't know. But it worked yesterday night.
Go to reputable website and provide us with data.
Here we go.
And because of what you just did now, I am going to take it upon myself. I am going to take it upon myself to get this information so that I will feed you right. Stop feeding us with nonsense. It's not right.
Just whatever you are searching, just search Anambra. Search for Anambra. Hold on a second. All the Anambra financial statements, they label them report of the accountant general with financial statements, Anambra. Just search for that. Is the official seal. It has Obi'S picture. It has all the.
No. Those are fake. Those are fake.
Fake. It has to be fake now. Why not?
It's fake website. It's fake website, please.
I don't get time. We'll continue on the Obi matter later.
All right. Sorry. I think Ife wants to push as well. Ife, push.
Yeah, I have a question. You were asking that who has Peter Obi brought up. My question is among these three top political aspirants we are looking at, who do you think has brought up the most responsible people?
Responsible people.
What does that even mean?
What does that mean?
Yes, in terms of most effective people then.
Effective in what?
Effective in whatever portfolio or whatever.
You are leading somewhere, so lead us there. So because it sounds like an ambush sort of a question, but go on.
You talked about Atiku and Atiku. You said Madam Okonjo-Iweala.
Ngozi,
Adesina.
Soludo.
I think. Can we put this lady to this Dora? Can we bring Dora in?
Did Atiku bring her up? If he did, then that's impressive. I don't know about Dora. I don't know.
That was Buhari. That was Buhari.
All right, that wasn't Buhari. But keep going.
That was Buhari. I can give you the history.
All right, but let him take us to where he wants us to be.
So my own question is, in Tinubu's case, you mentioned this guy.
50 people.
Aregbesola.
I didn't mention Aregbesola. I didn't mention Aregbesola. I did not mention. It's one man that mentioned Aregbesola.
Lata, you are a very smart person. You understand where I'm going to. Aregbesola, we know.
I did not mention Aregbesola. Aregbesola was Osun State governor. I come from Osun State. Aregbesola is an extreme. I don't even know what did Castro practice. Aregbesola is close to a communist. He's close to a communist. I will not mention Aregbesola. I will say Fashola. I will say Osinbajo. I will say Ambode. I will say what's the name of that tax guy? That tax guy, but he has bad habits. The original tax guy that Buhari fired.
Osinbajo never managed anything before now.
It was a commissioner.
It was a revolutionary with the Lagos State, what's it called, judicial system.
They tried to
Fowler.
I have a question. Do you know that?
And also Fowler.
Do you know that most of the properties we are saying Tinubu owns today is Osinbajo that made those laws when it was Attorney General that made Tinubu own this thing?
Is that your rebuttal? I don't know something big.
Now, Osinbajo became the vice president, started sharing money in the markets.
Okay, so that's where you're going. Okay, I thought you were going somewhere big.
Wait now. Fashola's case, I think the problem with Fashola in this administration is he's used in a sector that is alien to him. Because during his tenure as the Minister for Power, we know the number of times the national grid has collapsed. So for me, if
starting from a moribund, oh my God.
So for me, if you want to look at,
let's take that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
who has Peter Obi developed?
Hold on. Fashola, he developed Fashola, and Fashola crumbled our electric
Christ.
grid. So that's development.
Grid was
that's development. Look, let me tell you something. We have to be serious. We have to be serious. That's who did Obama develop?
But Mr. Nashville, at least
I'm not an American.
What of the roads that Fashola built?
Mr. Nashville, you can't use one mouth. You can't use one mouth to say Tinubu didn't develop Lagos. It was Fashola that developed Lagos. Now you are using another side of your mouth to say Fashola can't do anything. He can do something. He can't do anything. Come on, stay in one lane.
No. You get me wrong.
Let me ask the question one last time, and then I'll abandon it if I don't get an answer. Who did Peter Obi develop?
I cannot answer that question because that is not development of human capital. When you're talking about human capital, you talk about how you develop and help the people. The reason why we are where we are today is because when you talk about all these people you mentioned, when he left Osun State, how is Osun State?
Who talked about Arabishola now?
Hold on now. He's part of the people Tinubu developed now. Go to his state. Let us see what he did in his state. Let us. We are here castigating Obi and how much when Arabishola was there with his long socks that gets to his knee. What did he develop there? What did
Obeni built more roads than Obi? If you want to go there,
look, let me tell you.
Obeni built more roads than Obi. He built more schools than Obi.
He did not build any road more than Obi. Let me tell you what happened during Obi time.
How do you know? You know more than data.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what Obi did when he came in. Look, let me tell you, because you ought to understand the philosophy of the leader that is coming in. When Obi came in, like I told you last time, we had no roads. And the people that was in the hinterland, could not get to the city. When Obi went to Bangladesh, he saw all these things that the rural women,
they like to travel a lot to Bangladesh, Egypt, everywhere.
Well, these are countries. Is it not a shame? Is it not a shame that Thailand came to Nigeria and took our palm front, and today we are importing palm front from Thailand? So let me tell you something. Let's just leave it this way. These countries are not doing far better than us. These are countries that are in our own level.
No, you have sweet mouth. You have sweet mouth, but we need to kind of like make you. We need to make you. You need to be accountable. Who has Obi developed? Obi is not an island.
It's not development. That is not development. That's what I'm telling you.
You can't mention one person from everybody. So is he single-handedly doing all this fantastic work? Single-handedly, the guy must be.
He had a team that he worked with.
All right, hold on, gentlemen. Let's hear from Ife, who I think has not yet landed his point. Ife, back to you.
Yeah. So what I'm just trying to say is, when I want to look at people who, or the politicians that have brought people who has really had impact in that country, like we can see today, if that's the yardstick you want to use for the credibility of the candidates we have, then Atiku far supersedes everybody in this race then.
Probably.
So that's the point.
But who comes at the bottom?
Sure.
No, of the three that they claim to be the front runners.
No, it's this thing, Peter Obi.
Of course, he's not developed anybody. And from the raw data, because Kolata is not even partisan, especially, he's just somewhat irked by this endless embellishment, and he has gone to do a deep dive.
He did not do any deep down. He did a poor job. He did a poor job of identifying the issues, and he did a poor job of really knowing the ideology behind the leader in Peter Obi. When he came in,
ideology and philosophy. People will tell you
that we have many rural roads. We have many people in the hinterland that could not connect to the cities. That was the first thing he did. When Ngige was there, Ngige did most of the roads in the cities. When P2B came in, he went into the rural areas. Okay, so when you see him talk,
all right, let me do this. Kulata, I'm going to put something in the comment section. If you're able to capture it, this is my Instagram. My Instagram something. If you're keen to continue with that research and you can pull it together and you send us so you can. Only the time that might not be able to, but if you can make the time, I want you to, if you're able to put together sufficient enough to paint a narrative, not to do a bit down, but to give us a real feel.
No, I don't want to do him down because it pains me that I actually have to do this. Because
no, don't let it pain you, because we can't have people telling us lies. We were told a lie in 2014. See what we
no, you're doing a good job, but you have to do the job right. You feel me? I don't have any problem with you verifying, but when you want to verify from a reputable website, not just from Kangaroo website.
All right. So back to you, Kulata. If you are willing to take on that body of work, once you've been able to put a narrative together, I would like to do a private session with you, and then we do that session, and we do it raw data style and have reflections on it, just you and I. And then if you're satisfied, then I'll put it out. So if you're willing to do that, then I'm willing to facilitate that.
I'm willing to do that. And I think
you capture my Instagram there. So once you're ready, just DM me.
Sure, I got your Instagram. Like I will DM you, and I mean we have a long weekend this week. I mean we have a long weekend, so I'm not even doing.
You have another bank holiday, another public holiday. You Americans, you stay at home more than you work. What is going on?
No, we work like monkeys. We work like slaves.
Where are you based?
I did Atlanta.
You did here? Yeah. I was in Atlanta 2 months ago. Okay, no,
I know far from you, but I hear you. Honestly, I always badun you the way you talk about
you, but today they fuck up.
It make me want believe, like say, they go philosophical and go this. I say, this guy.
Philosophy
in the private chat, I sent you my number, Kulata. In the private chat, I sent you my cell phone number.
This is about
No. I'll be stubborn guy now.
Let me tell you something. Before election, we go drink. After election, we go drink. I'm only saying that let us make Nigeria good, so that most people in Nigeria will feel good. If not for us, we're here. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. So now, if I come to Atlanta, I don't get persuaded to say if I come, we can, hang out.
We can chat. We go come out. No problem. This one no be fight. Nah, just we know they go Nigeria. We know they go Nigeria go vote safe.
I know they vote too. But no, I'll go and campaign though. I'm going to campaign. I'll be going to campaign, but I'm not voting.
Well done, Kulata. You impressed me because you were called out yesterday. And you went and got your data and you presented. So whether people agree or not, you have presented. So what was put upon you, you stepped up to it. So that's just it. So whether
I think Aizon
is
here. If you have anything contrary to what to this position of Aizon can come on stage or get prepared another time as well, and come and give us a different position, because we cannot rely on Kulata's data alone and the sources of his info. I'm not saying that it's lying, but we cannot go by just we want to listen to a different perspective as well. So we don't know.
Kulata from Atlanta.
Americans are great people. Don't play with Americans, don't play with Americans. Don't think you can just bring somebody and just be championing. So America, we check that person, then we x-ray that person from head to toe. So this is the way we are trained in America.
Aizon, like Ajale Koko said, the pressure now yours. So Akulata absorbs himself as you pressure them too. So and whether the figures cohere because it was flipping back and forth to data to answer questions. So that is a man that is prepared and that is a man that has delivered. So well done, Kulata. So Kulata from Atlanta, Jenny from the blogs. So there it is right there, Jenny from the blogs. So there it is right there. And gentlemen, it seems like a good spot to round it off because we cannot top Kulata's performance. So we've seen Joel from relaxing at home all the way to his drive to work and him settling to work. And we were still here making noise all the way through. So I think that tells us that is sufficient enough time to round off. So we round off, of course, to line on the mic.
One man.
Yeah.
Let me suggest something. If it is possible, you said you want to have one-on-one session with Kulata on this to be right. So if I don't have a different position, maybe you want to put two of them, on stage together.
The only thing I don't want it to get rowdy is just the thing.
It can't get rowdy if they have different positions. If I don't have a different position or to counter his position, that'd be good for us, just to.
And what I was going to do with Kulata is that, yeah.
Agbẹjọ́ nìkan dá.
So this is the other end now. So what I was planning to do with Kulata was that, this system, I can run it without going live on screen. So I wouldn't go live so that we'll have the space to go through everything, peruse the errors, and if Kulata is satisfied, then I'll publish it. And if it's not satisfied, then I don't publish it. And that space is I'll repost my Instagram again. So that space is, and then when we publish it, we'll live stream it, and then people can attack it or upload it. So
that's okay.
Yeah. So if Kulata is happy with that, then so and that's my Instagram again. Anybody that wants to take that on as a counter narrative to what you already see the weight and potency of Kulata, so it's going to go deep and it's going to go hard. So if you are going deeper and harder, it's like
Jerry of Nashville is a challenge to you. All these things you are saying about Obi as well, that he built rural area. If you have fact, to that effect, you can post it to one man too to show that yes, this guy built rural area, he built infrastructure around rural area, and we know what that means when you take development to rural area and not just only the city. That's appreciable. If you have fact to that effect, post it to one man too. Let us know what this man have done good for the people of Anambra.
But we need to caution ourselves, because what we're trying to do is not like, I don't want to take Obi down or let his fans kind of like get demoralized. It's the myth that I don't like. Like
no, you can't demoralize
us. You are not taking him down.
You guys can support your candidate.
But it's just to say about this time.
But when it gets into mythical level, like the guy can walk on water, or
No, I'm not having the expectations of Obi. I'm not saying that Obi is the Messiah. But what I'm just saying is this: among the three people that I have seen come out for presidency, he is way better than the other two. And the reason is just simple. What we have had many godfatherism in Nigeria since the 60s. It has not paid off. We keep building strong men. These strong men that we are building, how has it benefited us? How has Tinubu being the Jagaban benefited the Yoruba race?
No.
Do you understand me? Like Peter said, he said, show me a road, show me that beautiful paradise built for only Yorubas. I will go there and live. Show me that place that is built so much by the Muslim. Show me that place. I will go there and live. So that is the problem. The thing there is that in all of these that Tinubu made this person, these are political careers. Politicians that build their career,
No,
their
these are
career in
talented
politics.
people. These are talented people.
They are not talented. If they are talented enough, they would have turned around the sectors they have. Fashola
Madam
we've
Ngozi is
given him,
not talented.
we've given him, and to be fair to Fashola, they would have given him something like the Attorney General of the Federation. To be fair to him.
No, they wouldn't give it when they have a tribal agenda.
Well, the thing there is that they wanted to give the juicy post. You see, when you put a square peg in a round hole, it wouldn't fit.
But that's Buhari's fault. That's Buhari's fault now.
Straddled 3 portfolios. 3.
Exactly.
That's what I'm telling you. That is crazy.
Sorry.
It's not talented. It's not talented.
Do you know that at some
That's
point
not
I'm thinking they purposely put Fashola in those places
to make him fail.
Just to make him fail, you know.
Because let me tell you something. My mom so much loved Fashola that she was telling me that if any place Fashola comes up, you remember when he wanted to go for second tenure and Tinubu refused? There was going to be a revolution.
Yes.
Do you think that Tinubu just says, "I continue your 4 years"? No, he did it to Ambode. But Ambode didn't have that clout. But Fashola, people were ready. They told Fashola, even Ambode, people told Ambode, go and pick up another party who votes for you.
All right. I'm going to set you homework, Joel. Between now and the next session you come on, I'd like you to come up with at least a name, preferably 3, that Peter Obi has brought to the limelight. Talented.
I've told you we don't believe in such politics.
You don't believe in
one man. No, we don't. We don't believe in building. We don't believe in building strong men. We want to build Nigerians, and that is the reason why we are here. We want to build Nigerians. The era of building strong people is over. That era should be done and dusted. They have enjoyed all they have to enjoy. Look at
can I ask you one quick question?
Ask that quick question.
Yeah, the quick question.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question, and then off the back of your answer, ask Joel. And Joel, you answer just succinctly, and then I really would like to round off because I think that's the height that you brought up. But am I wrong in my instinctual assertion that Peter Obi essentially nice guy but pedestrian? That's Kulukulata. Am I wrong to say that?
You're not. Honestly, you are not wrong. Peter Obi is a nice guy. Is a shrewd guy. Is a jovial, a humble disposition kind of guy. He's likable. He's very, very likable. But let's not make him mythical. That's all I care.
All right, brilliant. Put your question.